Hi, AP Psych parents. This is Mrs. Sewell. Welcome to our open house. We're going to start with contact information. If you need to get a hold of me, if you have any questions after this presentation or anytime during the school year, don't hesitate to email me. My email address is angela.sewell@ocps.net. That's the best way to contact me. If you need to call me, you can call me at the school number. My extension is 601-2231. I'm generally available between 7 and 8 in the morning, and then after 1:20 on Wednesdays or 2:20 on Tuesdays in the afternoon, but sometimes I have parent conferences. If you email me, I'll generally respond if I get the email before like 9:30 at night, and usually the response is pretty quick once the school day has ended. If your child has an A or a B in the class, that's probably all you need to know, that contact in case of emergency. But I'm going to go over grading procedures specifically for parents if your student's getting a C or a D or an F and they're struggling with AP Psych, so that you know what's going on and you know how they can be helped. So we use in AP Psych, Ms. Mailer and I both teach it, and we do exactly the same thing at the same time. We share a common agenda, so all AP Psych students are learning the same thing, so it doesn't matter what teacher they have. We piloted the standard-based grading program here at Boone, and we love standard-based grading. We think it helps students target what they need to know, and it gives them the opportunity to fix it because we use mastery so they can retake a standard if they don't do well on it. So we broke down all the College Board standards for AP Psychology into learning standards for the students. So every unit is broken down into standards, and I'm going to show you what those standards look like. And so here's what they get at the beginning of the unit. It tells them everything they're responsible for knowing for that unit. So we'll give them the first standard. It tells them the vocabulary that they need to know. And then it gives them the essential questions that they should be able to answer once we've learned that in the lesson. And then you can see this particular unit has 4 standards. So the test, when they take it, it'll be worth 400 points, and it'll be divided into 4 parts. They'll take a 100-point test on each standard. They get 10 questions per standard. So we know exactly where they stand on each of the standards that College Board expects them to know. So those are the standards. Then after we give them usually about a week to do a retake. If they didn't do well on the test, that's part of mastery learning. And ultimately, if they pass the AP exam, we use mastery there as well. If they get a 3 on the AP exam, we'll raise their final grade to a B. If they get a 4 or 5, we'll raise their final grade to an A if they don't already have that. Most of the work in AP Psych, like all college classes, is reading. And so they have readings that they have to do for each standard. We've divided the readings by standard, and we give them a quiz on that. So that's all take home. The quizzes are open note. As far as homework, there's really not a lot of other homework besides practicing vocabulary. We do assignments in class that are targeted to help them practice with the material we're using, but they usually get those done in class, or it's just a matter of finishing the work afterwards. Oops, I went the wrong way. All right, so how do you monitor your student to see what they're doing? First, there's the Canvas calendar. Every day I post an agenda, and on that agenda, it tells the students, here's what we're doing today. It links everything. It tells them what their homework is, and it tells them what the upcoming assessments are. So they're able to look at the daily agenda and know what's happening. They can check it at night and know what their homework is. And if they're absent, everything they missed is right there for them. So they know if I'm absent Wednesday, I can go to the agenda, I can get the notes, I can do the activities, because everything is linked. So if your student ends up being out, they're sick, then they can just go through the Canvas calendar on the days they were absent and find everything that they missed. Canvas grades will show you if they're completing their assignments and how they're progressing towards mastery. Skyward is where you'll find their official grades. So if you're looking for their grade, my grades sync nightly. So every night it'll resync. So they're accurate every night. Students also have a notebook that they're supposed to keep for this class. So you can flip through their notebook, look and see, are there lots of blank pages? Are they not filling out the paperwork? Are they not doing the practice assignments? That's going to tell you a lot. Also, if they keep their notebook and they have everything done and in order, at the end of the quarter, I'll drop their lowest grade. I'll look at their notebook. I will tell you that this past quarter, only probably a dozen students had their notebook together and got the grade drop because they just aren't keeping up with it. Now, as far as homework, like I said, there's really 4 things they have to do. They read the assigned materials. We use a website called Some More. And what we've done with that, Ms. Mailer and I have actually created readings for the kids. I'm going to show you one of them. We've created readings for the kids where we've condensed the material in the textbook and in the Barron's Review book. And we've created these readings that are really targeted to teach them exactly what they need to know for each standard. So this is standard 2 of our 2B unit on parts of the brain. And it has all their vocabulary. It's defined for them so they can go through the definitions. Excuse me. And then there are the essential questions. They're going to match up with what you saw in the mastery standards. And then we break down here the parts of the brain, and we give them lots of diagrams. There are videos in these, and we've really shortened the reading. So you can see there's not a lot of reading. You watch a couple of videos, and it tells you all about the brain. And they get about 3 days to read this and take the quiz. And their quiz is open note. So if they would just read and take notes as they read, which is a college skill, then they should be getting 9s and 10s on those quizzes. Another problem is they don't watch the videos. So there's always questions from the videos in the quiz. So they have to watch the videos. And so this will show you, what they have to do. And it's much shorter than reading and outlining textbook chapters. So we've really gone away from that. Also, they've got to practice vocabulary. At the end of the school year, kids always come up and they're like, Mrs. Sewell, this was just a giant vocabulary test. Yes, that's what I tell them all year long. I actually, and Miss Mailer, make the Quizlets for them. And so all they have to do is use the Quizlets that we provide. It has the correct words, the correct definitions. It says they can make their own. They can do that, but I've made it for them. I just can't get them to practice. If your student is not doing well in AP Psych, I can almost guarantee they're not doing their daily vocabulary practice. They're probably not reading the assigned materials. They're trying to Google for answers, and that really is hurting them. The other thing is that they get extra credit on every single test if they complete an assignment in Albert I.O. We always put a review prior to the test. It's due the day of the test, right before they take the test, and it will give them a 10% curve on every standard. So if it's a 4 standard test, that's 40 free points that I'm giving them, 10 per standard. And again, I can't get 100% of students to do that assignment. The other thing about Albert I.O. is that it's so good. Students who complete Albert I.O. get higher test scores because they did it. And then I add 10 points on each standard on top of that. So that makes a huge difference in their grades. And so your student really needs to take advantage of those Albert I.O. assignments. The other thing is attendance, coming to class and being present, not just having a body in here, but actually being present, taking notes, completing the practice assignments. That's going to help them, and they should be able to get an A or B in this class. Retakes, they can retake any test, as I said. There are retake requirements. It's just a list of things they need to do in order to retake. Typically, those are just the assignments they were supposed to do anyway. And then there's a retake Albert I.O. They've got to give us evidence of their vocab practice, all those kinds of things. But it's not a huge amount of additional work. It's just making sure they've done the work. They need to do something. If you just retake and you haven't done any more practice, your grade's not going to go up. So how can you help your students? Just encourage them to do the work. It's important to do AP classes in small bites. This is not a kind of thing that you can wait till the night before the test and try and do all the readings and try and practice your vocabulary and think that you're going to be successful on the test. You really have to think about it. You have to kind of process that information because it's not definitions. It's not something I can give them a study guide and then it's going to match the study guide. They have to apply their knowledge. And so they really have to develop that knowledge as they go and then be able to apply it on the test. They need to take advantage of retakes. I can help them out if they take retakes. It gives me an opportunity to give them more points. And very few students take advantage of that. And so they're stuck with their own situation. It all comes back to doing the work. If you don't do the work, you're not going to score well on the test. If you then need a retake, you got to go do that work that you didn't do. So usually low scores correlate with low effort on doing the work. And this is a class for some of your students, it's their first AP class, and it'll be a stretch for them. It's a push for them, but they're able to do it if they just do it a little bit each day. Some of them need to work to improve their study skills. I can help with that. I will tutor them at their request, and generally I can stay and help them out. I only have a couple students who routinely take advantage of tutoring. The other thing is they need to always do that Albert I.O. It's unbelievable as I sit here and process those grades to see the difference between those who do the Albert I.O. and really do it, not just, click buttons. Really do it and read the feedback. Their grades are higher and they get extra credit. So it makes a huge difference. I'm a huge believer in that. We fight for Albert I.O. every year. Mr. Johns has to pay a lot of money, and it is because we believe so much in it, and then it helps your students get ready for that AP exam. So after the video, there is a Padlet link. Go back to Canvas right under this video, and you're going to click on that Padlet link, and then you can communicate with me live and ask me questions. You'll just type them in. I can type responses, or you know what, just email me. That's probably the easiest, and I'll respond to any of your questions. Just remember, I want all your kids to have A's and B's, and if they do the work and they take advantage of retakes and they do the extra credit, every kid can have an A or a B, at the worst a C in this class. So please, if you reach out if you want some extra help for your student, I am here to help them.